Yes, Dale, all my beautiful people. Welcome to the alternate point of view. My name is Tracy Lee. I appreciate everyone who has been subscribing to this channel. If you are new, welcome. Please hit that like and subscribe button. If you are not a member yet, please join. I would appreciate that very much. If you don't have a t-shirt, get you a t-shirt and check out my other merch as well. I want to start this video off with Galatians 6:9. It is, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And this means a lot. It is very good for this video because we have not been giving up on this Samantha Woll trial, the Samantha Woll case. We are going to go over again today some more information about the video, the Frankenstein video from the Samantha Woll trial. We are continuing this because we're basically going back through some of the testimony, some things that were said, some things that could have been done better, because Michael Jackson Bolanos is spending 18 months to 15 years in prison for lying to the police, not for taking Samantha's life, not for attacking Samantha, not for any of the things that he was accused of other than lying to the police. And just to quickly recap Samantha Woll, she was the Jewish synagogue president of the Isaac Agree Synagogue in downtown Detroit. She was attacked and her life was taken on October 21st, 2023, just 2 weeks after Hamas invaded Israel. There was a lot of speculation that it could have been a hate crime or an anti-Semitic crime, but that was quickly set aside because the police knew of their suspect. They just didn't want to release the relationship between Samantha and their suspect. And then suddenly the tables turned and they found Michael Jackson Bolanos. And I'm not sure if it was because they knew it was someone Samantha knew. They knew it was someone in her inner circle, and they didn't want to expose that this could be possibly someone in her very own community. And they didn't want to expose that. I'm pretty sure that is what it is. I have followed the money trail. I have followed the connections that Samantha had. Samantha was very, very into politics. She got very big people, helped them get elected. She helped Dana Nessel get elected. She helped Elisa Stockton get elected. She helped many Democratic campaigns there in Detroit and Michigan. And as we all know, Michigan is a very Democrat state, and Detroit is a very Democrat city. And due to Samantha's hard work, a lot of those people are in their places because of Samantha. The synagogue is brought back to life because of Samantha. And a lot of things came out about Samantha during her trial that her family was not even aware of. And they don't want to see her the way that she was put out there. And unfortunately, these things happen in these types of trials because you don't always know a person the way you think you do, and then suddenly like the dirty laundry comes out. And it's sad because the defense could have capitalized on those things, but they actually didn't. They didn't bring out or say really nasty, dirty things about Samantha, even though Paul, her best friend, got the bus and ran over Samantha with it and ran over her again by bringing out all of her dirty laundry. So there were many, many suspects that could have been involved, especially the ever elusive David Wellington, who was supposed to be at her home that night and was the very last person that she texted. But not even that. It was even her ex-boyfriend who actually confessed to hurting Samantha. And he was given use immunity by the prosecutor's office in order to testify against the man that they chose to be the one that they would put charges against, which is Michael Jackson Bolanos, who happened to be walking around downtown Detroit that night. And they put together this Frankenstein video of Michael Jackson Bolanos walking around downtown Detroit. Or is it Michael Jackson Bolanos walking around downtown Detroit? Some of it is, but is it all him? We're not really sure. We can't tell because it looks like a dark shadow walking in a green circle. So we're going to take a look at this video. We're going to pick it apart. We're going to question why the defense didn't object, why they didn't do sidebar, why this video was allowed in the first place. It was very edited. The timestamps were even edited. The prosecution even fast forwarded through this video during the direct examination. A lot of things were done that just didn't seem right, but the judge allowed it. And this is Sergeant Lance Sullivan, who is now retired from the Detroit Police Department. So let's go back into this video.
And I'm going to show.
And this is Brian Brown, the defense attorney now.
I'd like to show people, defense proposed exhibit 7. And I don't believe there's any objection to publishing. Okay. And may I publish? Okay. Now you would agree that this is an aerial shot of Franklin and McDougal when they intersect, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And the red dot, which is depicted on the screen, would you agree that that is 2987 Franklin?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if an individual was walking south on Franklin and they appear on McDougal, if they go into that parking lot, which was depicted on the video, would you agree that they would have to walk east through the parking lot and then turn south to get on McDougal?
Yes.
Okay. So in the video, we saw the individual walk towards Woodbridge, correct?
Originally when it turned off on Joseph.
Right, walking from Franklin, when they go into the parking lot would be, if they walk toward the parking lot, their body, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then in order to get to McDougal, they would have to make a right when they get to the corner of the building, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it is your opinion that this person walked from Franklin to McDougal behind the building and was able to be depicted walking south on McDougal within 20 seconds?
No, well, obviously, looking at that overview, that instead of that Woodbridge Street, they were actually on Franklin. So that was one street off.
You said that the video is depicted of which now? Which street?
Franklin Street.
Franklin.
And I had put Woodbridge, which parallels it.
Okay.
Looking at that parking lot.
Okay, and if we can go back to People's Exhibit, I believe 77. Oops. Get that off for a second. 78, I'm sorry. People's Exhibit 78. And this is walking south on McDougal, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let's just go back just a little bit, just so we can have an understanding. You would agree that this is Franklin, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And at 253, 254, the person goes out of camera view, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that would be behind that building, walking towards Woodbridge. Their body would be oriented towards Woodbridge. You would agree to that, correct?
Yeah, so McDougal would be right here at the end of this building.
Okay. And then 20 seconds later, the person is walking south on McDougal, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure this is the same person?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let me say this. Yeah, I'm very comfortable saying that.
You're very
I'm
comfortable?
saying the whole 20 seconds, because we don't know what happened between it. Could be somebody sprinting, walking.
Oh, so you're saying it's possible that a person could have sprinted all the way to the rear of this building and then appeared walking south on McDougal, correct? That's what you're saying?
No, I guess we lose them in that area. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what
Is it possible that you were tracking the wrong person?
No, I'm very comfortable.
Okay. And I'm about to show People's Exhibit number 74. This is People's Exhibit 74, which is a video from, I believe it's 2760 East Jefferson. You familiar with this video?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll speed it up a little bit. You would agree that this is not Mr. Jackson Bolanos, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you would agree that this individual is walking towards Franklin Street, the individual we just saw, correct? You'd agree that Franklin Street is perpendicular to this particular area?
It's south of that location.
Okay.
He's walking towards Joseph Campo.
Would you agree that the next street over from where the direction this individual was walking would be Franklin Street?
No, Joseph Campo is right here. It's a north-south street. He would at the end of this building is Joseph Campo.
And you would agree the last individual had on all black?
Yes.
Okay.
For the record, you're playing at what time here on this?
This is 3:54 as of right now. And you
Video.
on the video, which correlates to 2:50 in the AM, 2:50 and 54 seconds?
Just want to make sure the record's clear what you're doing.
Absolutely. And you would agree that Mr. Jackson Bolanos took the same path as this other individual who was dressed very similar, correct?
Through the parking lot, yes.
Yes, okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you stated the part you played earlier with the others.
And I'll just go back for the record. The other individual was first seen at 2:41 on exhibit number 74. It's 2:41 on the actual video, which correlates with 2:49 and 41 seconds in the AM.
I just want to make sure it's clear on the record what part of the video we're showing.
So if we go back to exhibit 78, you're saying that you're fairly confident that this individual we see right now is Mr. Jackson Bolanos and not the first individual who was wearing all black that we saw walking through the parking lot of Gordon. That's what you're saying?
Actually, looking at it, it does appear to be
A different person.
It does appear that they would be. I think in my report I wrote Mr. Jackson walked down Woodbridge, this being Franklin Street.
But you didn't testify to that though, right? During direct examination, you didn't tell the jury that you wrote that in your report that in fact Mr. Jackson Bolanos was on another street. Matter of fact, you told the jury that's your understanding of your belief that was Mr. Jackson Bolanos, didn't you?
Yes, sir. I just pointed out. I just realized that.
You just realized it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Could there be some other things that you may have missed in your investigation?
I'm human, but I certainly don't think so.
But you wouldn't think of this until I brought it to your attention, correct?
No, that was a great test. Like I say, he's probably on a
Oh.
next block paralleling him. No, that is there in my fault.
Okay, because a question was asked of you during direct. Did anybody in this area fit the description of Mr. Jackson Bolanos? And you said no, correct?
I wouldn't consider that the description. Like,
And you wouldn't consider that description, but yet you thought it was him?
yes, so there was
I'm
if I can explain.
No,
No?
you just said that you wouldn't consider that the description, but you testified, and in your mind, you figured that that was Mr. Jackson Bolanos, correct? Yes or no?
Through the process, yes.
So when you made that conclusion in your mind, it was based upon what you saw. You had to observe things first, correct?
Totality.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
You had to analyze what you saw, correct?
Correct.
You had to think about it, maybe even speak to other people about what you saw,
I
correct?
did, yes.
And after all of those different steps, you came to a conclusion that it was Mr. Jackson Bolanos, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And not only that, you came and told the jury that this was your feeling and your belief that, in fact, this guy was Mr. Jackson Bolanos, correct?
I did.
Okay.
So that was a good catch. That's what he said. And he said through the process that he thought that that person was Michael Jackson Bolanos. So how many other times in this entire Frankenstein video did he believe that another person was Michael Jackson Bolanos? See, you can't tell who the people are because he's literally putting a green circle around a figure that is wearing all black. That's not how you solve a taking of a life case. That's not how you do that. That's not good detective work. This is a prominent member of the Detroit area. This is a case they wanted to close. Literally, her life was taken October 21st, 2023. This case was closed within a month. Within a month, this case was closed. You tell me in Detroit history when a case was closed within a month that they didn't literally catch the person in the act.
Now, once again, it's possible that you could have made another mistake on your observation of what you saw or what you believe you saw, correct?
Anything's possible. but
Anything's possible.
I don't believe it.
Okay. Let's go back to 3025. Well, let's go here. Exhibit 78. You remember that the prosecutor asked you a question about Mr. Jackson Bolano's head orientating towards the building at this particular juncture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You didn't get any reports of break-ins of this apartment complex, did you?
No, did not.
Okay. As a matter of fact, you didn't get any reports of anybody's apartment being broken into or entered that night, did you?
Where?
Anywhere in your investigation, anywhere that you were surveilling on who you thought to be Mr. Jackson Bolano?
Other than our scene, no.
Okay. And you never saw Mr. Jackson Bolano walk up to this particular building and start peering in the window, did you?
Which this building?
Yes.
No.
Okay. And through all your surveillance, you never saw Mr. Jackson Bolano at one point in time go to any building and start looking in through the window, did you?
No.
And at no point in time during your investigation did you ever see Mr. Jackson Bolano try to open the door of a building, did you?
No, I did not.
Now, pausing at 30:26 on the video, which is 1:56 and 54 seconds, you testified yesterday that you saw who you believe to be Mr. Jackson Bolano's walking down Joliet.
I never said that.
You didn't say that you believe that
Mr.
this.
Bolanos? No.
You didn't say that.
I never said through my director who I thought that was. I referred to that person as an individual I was tracking.
Oh, as you're tracking.
Yeah, I didn't say.
But you didn't try to make the jury to believe that this is Mr. Jackson Bolano?
I didn't say the name. No, I'm sorry. I tracked the person.
Okay. But what person were you tracking?
That person on video.
That person
My piece was the video, as I stated when I originally started.
Okay. So,
That-
so just to be clear, you're not saying that this is Mr. Jackson Bolano because you don't know, right?
I know who I was tracking. Legally, I can't say who that is. In
Okay, I'm asking you. You cannot say that that's Mr.
Yes,
Jackson Bolano, correct?
correct.
Okay.
Legally.
And then this person was.
I can't.
If you were stating what you believe.
A person I was tracking, sir. I can't say a name. I'm not allowed to say who
Okay,
that is.
okay,
It has to be somebody that knows the person to say who that is.
Okay,
in the video.
okay. Right now, Sergeant. During your direct, questions were asked of you of, do you believe this is a subject, correct? Or what the subject was doing, correct?
Yes.
And you said, I believe the subject was doing A, B, and C, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Never did you say during direct, oh, I can't say it's the subject, or you didn't say that, did you?
It's only because I never said that. That never came up.
Okay,
The name issue ever came up. I was tracking a person with a bag in the parking lot.
Okay.
And I left it at that. Now, amongst our investigators, we talk about who we're tracking. Yes.
Okay.
I can't say to the jury, I can't say to you who that person
Okay.
is legally.
Now, at this point in time, you can't see where whoever this person is actually came from.
No, that's why the ellipse starts when I do see movement. That's
Okay.
the person.
You can't say whether or not whoever this person is walked up or down Joliet Place, correct?
Correct. What's highlighted is the only part we can see on the video.
Okay. And from the video, you can't make any positive identifications of even what the person is wearing, correct?
That's right.
You can't even make any identifications if it's a male or a female, can you?
That's correct.
You don't know simply if somebody was going to their car to get something, correct?
That I don't know.
Okay. And you would agree that this is a very, very brief clip as far as
The movement.
the racing.
I'll
Yes.
agree with that.
Okay. Now I will forward to 47 minutes on the population. If we look in the top right corner, or just maybe left of right above to the top left of that black car at the top of the screen, do you see some individuals walking, people walking?
Yes.
Okay. And you would agree that it appears that Mr. Jackson Bolano is walking away from those individuals, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pausing at 4:35. Does it appear that Mr. Jackson Bolano has a glove on his left hand?
It appears to be something light color.
Okay.
I don't know if it's if he's holding something or if it's a glove. I don't-
Okay. But you would agree that walking up to this area, we'll walk back. We'll go back a little bit. So you'd agree, it appears it could be a glove on his hand at this point in time, correct?
I guess it could be a glove. When that intersection prior to that, when he was walking, I actually thought he had something in his hand, like maybe something.
Okay, but from this vantage point, it looks like he has a glove on his
He
hand.
could be
correct?
holding something, sir. I don't know if it's a glove or not.
Okay. Go back to 47. Right there, does it appear that he has a glove on his hand at 46, 45?
Again, sir, it's hard to say. He was in that car
Okay.
seconds prior. That could be something he's holding. That zoomed in and you can see that it's actually pixelating. It zoomed in so far, so it's difficult to make that determination.
It's difficult to make a determination on anything.
And we will
It's so pixelated.
go to 53 minutes on the compilation. We'll start at 52:52, which is 3:07 and 23 seconds in the AM. You'd agree that it looked like Mr. Jackson Bolanos turned around to look over his shoulder, correct? Well, I'll back up just slightly. Right there, you'd agree that it looked like he turned over his shoulder, correct?
Yeah, it appears so.
Okay.
After, yes.
And does it appear that he's looking in the bag?
Yeah.
Okay, his head is orientated toward the bag, right?
Sure seems.
Okay. Does it appear that his hand is in the bag?
That's hard to say, sir.
Okay. But you would agree that the bag is, he's holding the bag with one hand and the front of the bag is in front of him. It seems kind of loose, correct?
It does, yeah.
Okay. I will go to does it appear that he has a glove on his right hand at 55 to 31 seconds?
It's hard to say with this. This is an infrared camera, so there's no color.
Okay,
So infrared's a different animal.
you would agree that it looks like he has some type of light colored object on his hand when you look at his hand.
I can't say that. His hand appears light, and it's only because there's no color now. And so infrared only reads, it's a beam that only, it shoots out, it comes back, it reads light and dark.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Do you agree that it's light?
Yeah, I agree it's light, yeah.
Okay.
But I can't agree it's a glove.
Okay. And you would agree? Okay. So we will forward to, oops. I will start playing at 57 seconds and 43 on the compilation, which corresponds with 3:24 and 25 seconds in the AM. You can watch Mr. Jackson Bolanos. Does it appear that he's running away?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will forward to 58, and I'll start playing at 58 and 33, which corresponds with 3:25 and 30 seconds in the AM. Does it appear that Mr. Jackson Bolanos is running
Yes.
again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you'd agree that throughout your observation of Mr. Jackson Bolanos, he ran multiple times, correct?
He did. Yeah.
Okay. And he ran multiple times before 4:20 in the AM, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will forward. I will start playing at 1:10 and 11 seconds on the compilation, which corresponds with 3:50 and 53 seconds in the AM. Now, Samantha Woll's apartment is to the left of this green circle, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, isn't it true that you never saw Mr. Jackson Bolanos walk in the direction of Samantha Woll's apartment, correct?
I believe I did.
Oh, you believe you did?
Yes.
Okay. But on this particular compilation that you compiled,
Yes, sir.
you would agree that he's walking towards the right. He's walking away from her apartment, correct?
At 3:52.
At
Yes.
3:52, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And he's continuing to walk away from, he's getting more distance from her apartment, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you agree that during this compilation, there's no footage of Mr. Jackson Bolanos walking off screen toward the direction of Miss Wall's apartment, correct?
At what point?
At any point.
I consider that in the direction where the few clips I slowed down carrying the bag in that direction.
Oh, okay.
It's not away. It's in that direction.
And this, from your observation, this is some security, correct? At 4:10, in 31 seconds? This is
I believe it is, yeah. It's got
Okay.
the flashing lights consistent with security.
okay.
Continue watching.
Yeah. And they're making the rounds in this same apartment complex's parking lot of where you believe you saw Mr. Jackson Bolanos at 353, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And this would have been approximately 9 minutes prior to Samantha Woll's motion from her ADT, correct? Approximately.
Well, 4:10 to 4. I don't recall the exact time on the motion.
Okay.
But it's approximate time.
And do you know at what point in time this security left the parking lot?
This security we just watched?
Yes.
If we can replay it, I don't know. It was a matter of seconds. They basically came down, Juliet Place, turned, and went back
Okay.
out to the.
Do you know what security officer that in fact was?
No, I don't.
Okay. Did you ever interview anybody?
No, I didn't. Homicide
In your
task.
investigation, did you ever find out who it was?
No, it's homicide task force.
Okay. Now, and then you then saw Mr. Jackson Bolanos at 4:23 in some odd seconds by the Monroe Bridge, walking across 375, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And when you saw Mr. Jackson Bolanos, he was walking, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And he was in running path over the bridge, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you indicated from your knowledge there was a strike going on, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that if somebody's walking across the Monroe Bridge, you could probably see these individuals standing out because they're in an illuminated area? That'd be fair to say, correct?
The striking individual?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you think it'd be fair to say that Mr. Jackson Bolanos walked towards these people?
Yeah, where they were standing,
Okay.
coming across the bridge, he would be walking towards people.
Okay.
Yes.
And you would agree, based upon your knowledge of the area, Mr. Jackson Bolanos, instead of walking over the Monroe Bridge towards the casino, he could have continued down the service drive and intersected with Gratiot, and then took Gratiot down to 36th District Court or the route he took home, correct?
He could have gotten that way, yes.
Okay.
For sure.
And you would agree that that had been a less populated area, more or less? There weren't people striking down the service drive when it intersects with Gratiot. The alternate route he could have taken, correct?
It would have been less popular.
It'd been less
yes.
populated. Okay.
Yes.
You would agree that he took the more populated route, correct?
Sure.
Okay. And you would agree that no of the, I guess, strikers seemed to orientate their head towards Mr. Jackson Bolanos, correct, as he walked by, correct? It didn't appear-
None of them. It didn't appear there was motion.
Okay,
Again, I don't know where they're looking. But
okay. And as part of your job of looking at this video, I'm almost certain that you enhanced these pictures and zoomed on these pictures, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you didn't see any blood on Mr. Jackson Bolanos, did you?
On the clothes, I did not.
No, or his face or anywhere on his body, did you?
No.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry, let me go back. Now, we're at the intersection of Macomb and Chrysler, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it'd be fair to say that this particular glove that was found on November the 30th is found right across, maybe slightly to the top left of where this particular sign is, right?
Yeah, that'd be fair.
Okay. And watching this video, you never saw Mr. Jackson Bolanos ever walk over there, did you?
No,
You never saw Mr. Jackson Bolanos ever toss anything in that direction, did you?
I did not.
Okay. I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit. Now, what is it? What is the time right now?
If you could back up a second
Okay.
before we roll.
It's 4:20. It's 4:25ish.
4:25, 15 a.m.
Okay.
System time.
Now, did you do any calibration of this particular system to know whether or not there was an offset of time?
No, I was given the information from Rock Security.
Okay. Did you do any verification to see if it was off 5 or 10 seconds?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you don't know whether or not this is 4:25 in 15 seconds or 4:25 in 0 seconds, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, were you aware through your investigation that Mr. Jackson Bolanos had a text message at 4:25 in the a.m.?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't aware of that?
No, sir.
Okay. If I will go to People's Exhibit 45.
Just to make you aware, the Rock security cameras that they are using are owned by the, I believe, Fisher Foundation in Detroit, which is one of the second highest donors to the Isaac Agree Synagogue. So if they were off by even a couple of seconds or minutes or what have you, they wouldn't tell you because they want Michael Jackson Bolanos to be guilty. They don't want one of their own to be at fault for this. They don't want them to be caught. I don't know if you're aware of Jewish law, but in Jewish law, they will together and cover for each other, even if it is something this bad. They would rather someone else take the blame than one of their own. And this synagogue is funded by the Fisher Foundation, the Gilbert Foundation, and both of these people, these families, are very powerful in Detroit. They own a lot of real estate in Detroit. They are working on gentrification in Detroit. This is their goal. That is why this synagogue came lifted up from the dead and is now one of the most money making buildings, companies, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. It is registered as a 501c, so that is that. But they make a lot of money, and they have a lot of money flowing in and out of that synagogue. And it is in their best interest to not have anything negative come about that synagogue. Now, Samantha's demise obviously is a negative mark, but if used in the right way, it can bring in more money, in which it has. They were able to finish the construction on the synagogue. They were able to finish bringing in more money to the synagogue, and they still to this day use her face and her voice and everything. And they actually named the synagogue in her honor. So Samantha is still being used to continue to have money flowing into the synagogue. And the saddest part about all of this, is that her family wants Michael Jackson Bolanos to take the fall for this. They want Michael Jackson Bolanos to be guilty. They don't want this to be researched any further. So the Detroit Police Department also doesn't want this to be researched any further. And I fear that this case will go cold. I don't want this case to go cold. I want them to find the right person. I really wish that they would have finished her autopsy, which they did not. They are basing her death on an ADT motion sensor at 4:20 a.m. As you could see, Michael Jackson Bolanos was walking past those strikers at 4:24 a.m. The distance between Samantha's townhouse to that area is an 8 to 10 minute walk. It's over a quarter of a mile. It takes 8 to 10 minutes to walk that, not 4 minutes. And even if he could walk it in 4 minutes, they're saying that he attacked her brutally and she was stabbed 8 times in the head and the neck and all over her townhouse, from her sofa to the hallway, everywhere. This was a brutal attack that took place at 4:20 a.m. and he was walking across that bridge and sidewalk by 4:24 a.m. So you do the math, make it math. If you can make that math, an 8 to 10 minute walk and a brutal attack in 4 minutes, because they didn't finish the autopsy, because they didn't give a time of death, they didn't give even an estimated time of death. The medical examiner did not finish the autopsy. And I know in Jewish law, you have to be buried within 24 hours. But you would think that if your child had been brutally attacked and brutally deleted the way Samantha Woll was, that you would want to know. You would want to find out exactly what happened to her. But that is not what happened here. Instead, what happened here was Dana Nessel butted her nose into it because she's Jewish, atheist Jewish, by the way, even though she claims she's a practicing Jew, although she's not. She butted her nose in it and took the case right away. And then when she found out it wasn't anti-Semitic, or didn't want to say it was anti-Semitic or a hate crime, it got passed back down to Kim Worthy's office, who Kim Worthy decided, of course, she'll do whatever Dana Nessel says. And, now it's been blamed on this random black guy, poor Michael Jackson Bolanos, who just happened to be walking in the area. We'll put it on him, even though the ex-boyfriend confessed. And he was given use immunity. Use immunity is not given to people who don't have information to trade in turn for use immunity. But somehow, some way, he was given use immunity. Michael Jackson Bolanos was blamed for the crime. And now he's serving 18 to 15 years for lying to police. Now, Michael Jackson Bolanos did lie to police, but he didn't lie about anything like the crime. He didn't lie about anything that would cost police officers or the city money to investigate anything outside of the scope in order to derail them from their investigation. No. Jeff Herbstman did, though. Jeff Herbstman apparently, confessed to something that he supposedly, I guess, didn't do. They spent resources and money investigating Jeff Herbstman, but he gets away scot-free with use immunity, and he's perfectly fine. And he's been welcomed into the synagogue, welcomed into Samantha's family. This was a man that no one even liked or cared for, didn't like her dating him, didn't think they were a good match. And now all of a sudden he is up on a pedestal, just like Samantha. And it is really, really sad. And it's very difficult pill to swallow in this community. And it makes it sound very, very twisted what's going on there. And I just hope and pray for Samantha's family. I pray for Michael. I pray that he will be released and he will be able to clear his name. And I pray that everyone in Detroit will see and can see through this farce of a trial and through this farce of an investigation, and that the Detroit Police Department can be revamped in some way, because all of these detectives, thank goodness Lance Sullivan is retired. Sergeant Ford needs to be retired. Stockmeyer needs to be taken off the case. She's supposedly the lead detective in charge. I've called her. She has not responded. They have other lead detectives in charge, supposedly. They also have not responded. Everyone is standing their ground and doubling down on this case. They refuse to look at anyone else. Even though Michael Jackson Bolanos was found not guilty, they are not looking at any other suspects in this case, which is very sad for Samantha and her family. So I will say, as I say all along, this could be anyone's child. It could be your child. It could be you sitting in a defendant's chair, fighting for your life, and fighting for your life based on video that is chopped together, Frankenstein together, with a green circle around a blob. And they're claiming under oath that it is you. So also from the same district attorney's office, who says she will not allow her prosecutors to prosecute a case based off facial recognition because it is prejudicial against Black and brown communities. But yet she will allow her prosecutors to prosecute a case off of surveillance that you can't even tell who the person is. So how is that for a prosecutor, a DA? How does that make sense? Also, the same DA who found a warehouse full of rape kits that were not tested, and she decided to test them and supposedly solved several cases through that. But Samantha Woll had a rape test kit done on her that was not tested. So how could you have a test kit done on Samantha Woll and not test it? But yet you tested the vibrator. I don't have any, I have no words. This case was completely botched from the beginning. Samantha Woll had no chance because they didn't want her to have a chance to have a solved case. This was an inside conspiracy job because they don't want the real person caught because they know it's one of their own. So if anyone has any tips and they would like to email me, please check in my description box for my email address. Please check my socials in my description box. Please reach out to me and let me know. Please speak up and speak out. I would love to talk to anyone who has any information about the Samantha Woll case. This is very important. I do not want this case to go cold. I am probably the only person who really wants this case to be solved other than my viewers, my subscribers, my OGs. I know they want this case to be solved. This is a case that we are very dedicated to, unlike her very own family in the city of Detroit, which is really sad. I know there are some friends of hers that really want this case to be solved. There are few people that really are interested in justice for Samantha Woll. So I pray that we will get justice for Samantha Woll. And the only way to get that is to continue to keep this case alive. And I pray that Michael will be out and free and home soon. So I thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel. I appreciate it. I hope you know that 90% of my viewers do not subscribe. And if you are a subscriber, I hope you'll consider becoming a member. And I hope you'll check out my merch. I appreciate you all so much. 감사합니다. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.